If you've been throwing money at ads, posting consistently, trying every new marketing tip that you come across, and yet still not getting consistent leads, it's not your fault. The problem isn't your effort, it's your system, or the fact that you don't have a system. Let me show you what that looks like. You don't need another marketing tactic to try. You need a system, a systematic way of bringing someone who didn't know you exist but needs the product or service that you have to offer into being a customer who not only does business with you, but then tells other people about you. That's what I'm going to walk you through today. Here's what I see happen over and over again. A business owner hears that social media is the key to growth, so they spend hours building a following. They hear that paid ads work, so they throw money at Facebook and Google. They hear AI is the future, so they sign up for various AI tools that don't bring in customers. None of it connects. None of it builds on itself. It's simply throwing mud at a wall and hoping something sticks. And the worst part, you begin to think that the problem is you, that you're not creative enough, strategic enough, or consistent enough. But here's the truth. The problem almost never comes down to effort. It comes down to order. You're building the roof before you've poured the foundation. And no matter how beautiful that roof is, without a foundation underneath it, the whole thing collapses. My name is Asher Whitmer, and I'm a marketing consultant who helps small businesses and creatives implement a calm, systematic way to turn their good work into sustainable revenue. What I've found working with clients across various industries is that an effective lead generation system isn't complicated. It's sequential. When you start building it in the right order, marketing stops feeling like a frantic hustle and begins to feel like a building project coming to life. Today, I'm going to walk you through what I call the 3-layer lead engine, the foundation of any organic, sustainable lead generation system. The 3 layers are foundation, attraction, and conversion. Most businesses that struggle with leads are often doing well in one or maybe even 2 of these, but they're not doing well, maybe even not even trying at all in one of these areas. I'm going to show you what each layer looks like, what breaks it, and exactly how to fix it. By the end of this video, you'll know precisely where your system is leaking and what to do about it first. The first layer is one that many people skip because they assume that they've already got it handled. Not only is the foundation about having a good product or service and good customer care to go with it, but it's also about having a clarified message and a compelling offer, irresistible even, that is crafted specifically for your target audience. Here's a quick test. If I landed on your website right now, could I tell in a matter of seconds what problem you solve, how you solve it, and what I need to do to get you to solve my problem? The truth is, most small businesses fail that test, not because their business isn't good or because they don't actually have a good product or service, but because they haven't clarified the messaging around the product or service that they're offering. Clarity outperforms cleverness every single time. A strong foundation answers 4 questions. What problem do you solve? How do you solve it? How does my life look after you solve the problem? And then what I need to do to get you to solve the problem for me. Now, just as an aside, in business, you are either alleviating pain or providing pleasure. Most companies are alleviating pain, but sometimes you might be providing pleasure, or you're helping a customer achieve an aspiration, a transformation into something better. That's still kind of tapping into pain. So what are you doing? Are you solving a problem, or are you providing pleasure? If you're providing pleasure, then you just swap that out. What pleasure do you provide? How do you provide it? What does my life look like after you've provided that pleasure? And what do I need to do to get you to provide me that pleasure? That should be clear. Don't try to do it cleverly. You'd rather it be clear and boring than to be clever and it totally fly over people's heads. Until you've clarified the messaging and crafted an offer where it just doesn't make sense not to do business with you, then anything you build beyond that, ads you run, brochures you produce, they're going to fall flat because your messaging isn't clear. People don't really know what you do and how to engage with you. Once the foundation is solid, the second layer is what brings people to you without you having to chase them down. Here's how. This second layer is how you attract people who are already looking for the thing that you provide. You're optimizing your website and producing content that answers the questions people are typing into Google or YouTube or asking on Reddit right now. Think of it this way. A great website with no traffic is like a billboard sitting in a basement. nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to know it exists, and nobody's going to know you solve the problem, alleviate the pain that they're dealing with, or provide the pleasure that they're looking for. The entire game here is simple. Answer the questions people are already asking. Use a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush or Search Atlas to do keyword research to understand what it is people are asking. Even Google itself has a tool that allows you to do some basic keyword research. You can even use ChatGPT or Claude for free that give you seed keywords to start with and get an idea of what it is people actually type in around your product or service. And then you create articles, videos. Both of those work together to not only demonstrate your competency, but they provide the answers that people who are just starting out, they're looking for. They might not be ready to buy right now, but they're going to see your content on it, and it builds trust, it helps them immediately, and it begins to nurture them in the process of doing business with you. That's the power of this layer. It's not fast. Think long game with this. You're not going to make millions overnight, but as it builds, as you do it consistently over time and you take shots at answering the key questions and you do even better research, it's like a snowball that begins to build and build and build over time. And eventually it will attract people to you without you doing any work. Obviously, you had to do the work to get the content out there, but it's not something that you have to ongoing work. You can move on to other pieces. Start with a pace that's sustainable with all the other work that you have going. You're going to devote X amount of hours a week to content. It's top of funnel. Person who sees that piece this week isn't going to do business with you next week necessarily, but it's where trust is built, and it's a way to begin getting organic lead flow over a consistent basis. So a quick check. Do you have 3 to 5 pieces? It could be video, it could be an article on your website that people can find. If they're searching on Google, Bing, if they're searching on Reddit, if they're searching within an AI engine, will it pop up as something for them to help alleviate their pain or provide pleasure? Now, here's where most businesses make their biggest and most costly mistake. People will create content and then immediately ask them for a sale. It's the equivalent of asking somebody to marry you on the first date. You don't want these pieces to be sales letters. You want them to be quick wins, valuable, helpful, something that gives somebody the confidence, you actually can help me. This brings us to the third layer, and this is what bridges the gap between somebody discovering you and actually hiring you. As I already said, most people aren't going to do business with you the first time they see you. So you need a process to consistently nurture them over time. This is what we call a sales funnel. A process of moving someone who found you because you had content that responded to a question they had, and it moves them through the process of becoming an actual customer of yours and then telling other people about you. Here's what a basic, effective sales funnel looks like. First of all, that you're going to be able to get their contact information for free. You're often swapping it for something that's of value to them. It might be a free quote. Maybe they were able to design the thing they're wanting to build for free. They punch in their email or phone number, and then you send them a free quote of what it looks like. Maybe it's a guide that they can download, a checklist that it helps them through the process and they're DIYing it for now. Or maybe it's a bonus video that just step-by-step tutorial that if they put in their contact information, they can get, and it's a 20, 30-minute video, gives them a quick win right now. That gives you the contact information, which you can then follow up with. If you had that free quote, you can call them up and say, hey, I noticed we sent you a free quote. I had some things I wanted to fine-tune for you here. Make sure that we have the best option available. And that gives you a touch point. You can begin having communication. Maybe it's an automated email sequence. Again, the point of a nurture campaign or a sales funnel isn't to every moment ask them, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? More, you're wanting to help them get all the information they need to know if buying is the right next step. Jeff Walker talks about the problem solution path, which is an effective way of moving someone forward so that that initial lead generator specifically solves an initial problem that they have, or it helps them get that pleasure that they're looking for. But in the solution is the next problem. which then becomes your next follow-up piece to touch on. A classic example I like to use, because it's something I dealt with, is the whole thing of what I'm talking about right now. I was a handyman running a handyman business. I had a couple guys working for me, and I was trying to figure out, how do I get consistent jobs week over week so that I don't have to stress about it every Friday, Saturday, making sure the next week's work is lined up. I was paying for a service that was sending me leads, but it was expensive and not consistent. And so I discovered the importance of having my own website for my business. Well, once you have the website, once you know that that's a solution to generate leads, you need a website. Well, that presents some new problems, right? Well, how do I build a website? Who do I hire for my website? What makes a good website? What platform should my website be on? Those are all new problems that are surfacing in the solution. But then even larger than that, just having a website isn't enough. The website is the engine within a larger framework. So then what is that framework? And you can see how I easily, within each solution, presents the next problem. And if you reverse engineer the product or service that you provide for pay, I'm sure you can break it down into a bunch of micro solutions that you offer, where embedded within the solution is the next problem. And the more you help somebody solve a problem, and then they see themselves the next problem, and so you offer another solution, and then within that they see the next problem, over time, not only are they going to realize you know what you're talking about, you can help them, but they're going to be able to trust you, and they're going to see, oh, this is helpful, but I realize the issue is bigger than I can handle. And that's what warms them up initially to then the offer that you can present and say, hey, I offer a coaching platform that helps you implement this system. Another example I like to pull from is just writing. People, the presenting problem is that they have writer's block. I sit down, I don't know what to write. That's the problem. Well, the solution that I like to teach people about is the problem isn't writer's block. The problem is when you sit down, you're trying to do 8 different things. And so you need to plan out, okay, let me brainstorm topics. So you have a session where you're just brainstorming. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. You're just brainstorming, right? And then you have another session of, okay, here's 2 or 3 topics I want to write on. And so now I want to outline each of those topics. Well, within that, there are 2 problems presented within the solution. Well, the solution is I need to divvy out, instead of sitting down and trying to write, there's some work that needs to go into ahead of time before I sit down and write. Well, how do I brainstorm well? How do I know what topics? Once I have these 10 different ideas, how do I know what 2 or 3 to zero in on? How do I know how to outline my content well? How should content be outlined so that it's engaging and people stick with me? Those are all new problems that have popped up within the solution of how to overcome writer's block. So the problem solution path is an effective way of moving someone from cold audience, not very familiar with you, into being someone who eventually says, hey, can I pay you to do this for me? So the quick check for you right now is, if someone lands on your website and they're not ready to do business with you, do you have anything for free that helps them immediately? And within that, does it provide a way for you to keep in contact with them later? Some form of contact information. Now, I'm guessing some of you are listening to this and saying, Ashley, that sounds really good, but I don't have the time for all of this. Or maybe I don't have the money to pay someone to do all of this. And here's the good news. This is why I talk about it as layers. You don't have to work at them all at once. If you have the time, if you have the money, you can, but you don't have to. Rather, start with the first one. There's no point in you having a sales funnel if you don't have clarified message. If it's confusing to even understand what all you're doing and how it benefits them, then don't work on the sales funnel. Don't even work on the content and attraction part. First, focus on clarifying your message and crafting an offer. This is something you could do. Build these 3 layers out in a couple of days, or it's something you can spend the next couple of months on. You don't have to feel stressed about it. Just know that as you fine-tune and build these layers effectively, you'll see organic lead generation begin to flow in. My clients see significant progress with their lead flow within 60 to 90 days. The goal isn't a big, complex marketing system. The goal is a calm, sustainable system that grows with you. You came here because leads weren't consistent. Now you have a system. 3 layers: foundation, attraction, conversion. Build them in order. Don't skip a layer because one sounds more exciting. Start with layer 1. And if you want to go deeper, I've put together a diagnostic that helps you understand exactly which layer in your marketing system is leaking and how to go about fixing it. The link is in the description with an article that explains all of it. The diagnostic takes 5 to 10 minutes. It's not that long, and it gives you clear direction on where to focus your attention in your marketing next. If this was helpful, please subscribe. I publish a new video every week helping you implement a calm marketing system that turns your good work into sustainable revenue. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment. Which of these 3 layers do you see the need to focus on first in your business? Is it foundation, attraction, or conversion? I read every single comment. I'll see you in the next video.